several streets. As we do, we have flaggers, we have crossing guards out to keep the vehicular traffic safe, and us as well. As we cross each railroad crossing, if the flagger happens to be on your side of the car, be sure and wave at him. We'd like to let him know we appreciate the fine job they're doing keeping us all safe. As soon as we clear this Milwaukee Road locomotive, to the right you can see a large area of turned soil. They have just broken ground on the brand new museum for National Guard. This will be the National Guard Museum. Should be finished in 2 years. The 45th Infantry Museum, which is just around the corner, will be moving in toto here and expanding everything from that. And interestingly enough, the projected cost for the new 45th Museum is $45 million. Side of the train, as we travel south, we'll see several old railroad cars, which are purchases or donations to the museum. These are awaiting restoration. We haven't started on them yet. First thing you'll see is a white locomotive. It's a GP9 built for the Illinois Central in June of 1954. It was then sold to the Chattahoochee Industrial Railroad, try saying that 3 times fast, and then to the Georgia Pacific in Muskogee. The Georgia Pacific then donated to our museum in 2020. Meanwhile, back in the rail yard of the museum, you can see several cars and locomotives like the ones you're traveling in today, which our volunteers have carefully preserved and brought in off and observe our latest mechanical or cosmetic projects. These are on our to-do list. Then you'll see a railroad crane, which is self-propelled, has a flat car in front to protect its boom, followed by a set of 5 permanently coupled hopper cars. The Santa Fe Railroad in the early 1990s did an experiment with permanently coupled hopper cars, covered hopper cars, to carry grain products, corn, wheat, oats, barley, to facilitate the transportation. It was highly successful, but it didn't last long for the simple fact they developed newer, even better hopper cars, so those became obsolete, and that set of 5 was donated to us by the BNSF Railroad. And unloaded in a climate-controlled environment. Boxcar loads of paper goods, of workbooks, of textbooks come from a small rural town an hour south of Oklahoma City. And when the railroad came to town in 1903, the very first building built was the depot, and Main Street goes due south from the depot. And a lot of small towns are much the same way. People traveled for business and pleasure by rail. Large bags of mail were carried in and out of town, and sometimes even sorted right on the train of mail cars. Every kind of freight imaginable passed through the depot's baggage room, from washing machines, automobile parts, to, in the springtime, first time on the Korean Peninsula, carrying troops and supplies to the front lines, pulling hospital trains back to the coast. When the armistice went into effect in July of 1953, she was reassigned. The Navy sent her back stateside, and our locomotive served at the U.S. Naval Ammunition Plant in McAllister, Oklahoma, until 1987, when she changed branches of service and joined the U.S. Army and was assigned to the Fort Sill Artillery Training Base in Lawton, Oklahoma. So she's had quite a military career.
Signed up with on the government
a small handful of golf courses in the United States with an active rail line, and Oklahoma City's Lincoln Park Golf Course is one of them. In just a moment, we'll cross 36th Street and go right into the Lincoln Park Golf Course. I can just imagine the two golfers talking. One asks, "What's your handicap?" The other one says, "The terrain."
It's working. This railroad crossing is working. Northeast 36th Street. I'm making a trip report to show to my audience.
Museum grounds. Santa Fe 643 steam locomotive was originally built in 1879. In 1953, it was donated and displayed at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, and it came to our museum in 2015. The Conoco riveted tank car was built in the 1920s, and our volunteers had to have the footboard specially milled in southeastern Oklahoma because the lumber dimensions have changed in the past 100 years. A 2x12 plank is no longer 2 inches by 12 inches. And the two volunteers who thought they were going to pick up the solid oak plank and walk off like it was pine discovered there's a difference. The MKT 1045 inspection car is a very unique, one-of-a-kind car converted from an old box car to allow workers to inspect the rails, roadbed from in front of the locomotive. It went from the Katy Railroad to the U.S. Army Artillery Base at Fort Sill, where it was used as a Ford artillery spotter car and a rolling office. It arrived at our museum in 2012, and museum volunteers have restored it to its original interior, as well as its original green and yellow paint scheme. The Rock Island 17834 caboose began its life as a lowly boxcar more than a century ago in 1915. During World War II, the great demand for more railroad rolling stock and the shortage of building materials led to being converted to a caboose. Eventually, it was donated to the museum by the Kilpatrick family. These locomotives, cars, and others have been lovingly restored by museum volunteers. Don't forget to visit our gift shop inside the depot, which is stocked with lots of railroad-related items. The miniature golf course is set up for the kids to use for free. There's an operating model. Blue and I ever drove.
Yeah. It's number 301. Is
Started-
this the first run or second run?
This is the second run today
Okay, what time is the third run?
at 3:15.
3:15. So I guess 11:15, 1:15, 3:15?
You're correct.
I guess this guy's Ralph Fannin.
Looks like it. This is the way to rail fan, though, what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for riding with us. You may now depart the train.
Have a nice day. Alright, let's do that. Wow. It's old enough. It's number 48.
Yep, that's her road number.
And here's the train, guys. I guess thanks for watching.
With bunting and everything?